Good Sunday morning, folks. Good Sunday morning on this April 19th, 2026. Current time is 0601 a.m. Eastern Time here in upstate New York, the southern tier of upstate New York, where I live and reside. Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich, here on Rumble using the Rumble uh, Rumble Studios 2.0, I guess. We'll see if it craps out like it did last night during playing PUBG, but it worked pretty good yesterday afternoon uh, playing Lord of the Rings Online. But we are here for a rocket launch and an early one, and it's the new Glenn-3 from Blue Origin. They actually have a rocket that goes up and it can put things into orbit, unlike SpaceX, I guess. And good morning, Tina. Good morning to you. Good Sunday morning. We're on a special rocket launch this morning for the new Glenn, and we got live coverage. This is the third flight of the Blue Origin New Glenn rocket. It's a pretty powerful rocket, and it's going to feature a first reusable booster. This is a brand new booster. Blue Origin plans to launch, this morning, the third new Glenn rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station shortly here in about, what do we got on the clock? We got 36 minutes for the window to open. And it's going to be carrying an AST Space Mobile Bluebird 7 satellite into low Earth orbit. The launch of the new Glenn-3, or NG-3 for short, marks a critical milestone for Blue Origin, who was one of two contractors for the lunar lander for Artemis 4, I guess, when they go to the moon. Supposed to be testing on Artemis 2 or 3. Just got done with Artemis 2 going around the moon. But anyway, marks a critical milestone for the Blue Origin heavy lift rocket. The booster, never tell me the odds, previously launched last November 2025 and successfully touched down on a company's ocean-going landing platform, Janky? It's basically the same thing what they do in SpaceX with the Dragon, not the Dragon, their rocket that comes down to land, and they have done it with the Starship heavy booster. But the liftoff of liquid methane and liquid hydrogen fuel the rocket pad on pad 36 is going to be lifting off this morning around 6:45. So we got about another 40 minutes or so. It's about 6:04, 6:05 right now. It's 40, and the rocket will take a southeasterly trajectory and the departure of the Space Coast. U.S. Space Force's meteorologists forecast a 90% chance of acceptable weather, and we do have some. Let's see, the Blue Origin. We're going to be watching this via the Blue Origin. So let's see. Let's go ahead and bring that up here. They're showing some pictures of the landing there. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Let's go. There we go. There's the Blue Origin right there. Oh, we need a transition. Let's transition. Let's add that. Let's take this off first. Let's take that off. Let's remove that. That's I'm using the transition, so it's just like, there we go. Okay, that's the intro. Okay. Here we go. Now we're on it. So there we have some goings on there. Their feed is up, and you can see on the clock we got 33 minutes, and that's the package that they're delivering, I believe. Up. Oh, no, that's deploying satellites. So I'm not sure it's deploying satellites. See if I find something else on here as far as that goes. Let's see. According to Blue Origin, um, it should be okay. I'm just checking their page here to see if there's any. It's going to launch. It should basically a typical launch of a rocket as far as that goes, and you can see the film clip there of previous missions and the personnel at Blue Origin. Even though this isn't a coffee broadcast, I do have the morning coffee this Sunday morning, and it's tasting mighty fine here, folks. So let me see. Space. Okay, let's look at this one. Yeah, what Blue Origin reused new Glenn rocket stage for first time. It's the first brand new. Jeff Bezos' space company is about to take a giant leap towards reusable orbital rockets, which the last one landed, I believe, when they. Or I'm not sure. Well, I can't remember now that I say something. Blue Origin's new Glenn rocket is supposed to lift off the third time ever, and but for the first time with previous flown hardware, the mission called NG-3 will deliver Bluebird 7, a direct cell phone international satellite. So it's one package, a cell phone internet satellite into low orbit, LEO, flying the same first stage booster core that launched NG-2, but with new engines. Let's see, what does that say? Flying the same first stage booster core that launched NG, but it has new engines. Okay. Liftoff for NG-3 is scheduled during a 2-hour window will open at 6:45 a.m. Eastern Time, and from Launch Complex 36, Cape Canaveral, down in Florida. And we're watching it on Blue Origin, and they said starting 30 minutes before, but they're actually they're just showing some previous rockets and stuff like that. So um, so there it is. There's a flight plan and all that they're showing right now. And we're on a flight plan ourselves using the new Rumble version 2.0. It's no longer beta from what they're saying of the canvas, and that's so we can change from scenes and all that as far as that goes. So that gives you an idea what the rocket's going to do. Let's see. Of course, let's see. SpaceX. Okay. It's the Falcon 9. This the new Glenn 3 is larger than the Falcon 9. That's a SpaceX version that comes down. It's a this is a heavier. New Glenn is a little bit heavier, and the next train, and but it's not as big as the next generation fully reusable space Starship there. Now the Falcon, that's the capsule that goes on top of the Dragon capsule is the name of the capsule that goes on top of the Falcon, which ferries our astronauts to the International Space Station. So the Rumble right now, we're sitting at 16 minutes. Yesterday I had some problems. I'm going to see if I can bring up a secondary moderator here as far as on my other computer. So let's see. But I hope everybody's having a good start to their Sunday. Probably a lot of people are in bed. Let's see. What do we got here? I'm not sure if there's any audio with this. Let's see if there's any audio. Let's see what they have for audio. Is there any audio? No, it's got music. I'm not going to play the music. We're not going to play the music there. Let me see if I can bring this other box up here. What's going on here? Let's see. Number lock. Okay. And okay, just saying good morning to the missus there. She's up this Sunday morning, so everything's going good. There's what the launch will look like right there, as far as with the new Glenn. It's the third time they've launched, and Tina says good morning. Thank you, Tina. Yeah. So I usually broadcast these because I like watching them, and I just think it's neat to go ahead and have like a watch party, if you will. I am a space nut. I do like the space. Blue Origin is along with SpaceX, is a civilian uh, company, private company, and there it is launching on the landing on the ship, the Glenn-3 or the Glenn-2, the last one. Okay, so it did land on this. So they did make a successful stick there, Blue Origin. So SpaceX isn't the only um, rocket building company in the neighborhood, basically. So I'm watching my backstage here from a live streamer's standpoint. We're at 20 minutes right now, and hopefully we don't crap out. I'm trying to do something here to prevent that. I gotta. Okay, let's see. Let's bring up some pages here. So we're sitting at 26 minutes for the window to open, and I'm pretty excited. New Glenn, Blue Origin. They have those. They have the suborbital flights that all the um, stars and entertainers have been on and stuff like that. Even William Shatner it was on one where they did a suborbital. They technically went into space. Some of them came down. Oh, now we're astronauts. That doesn't make you an astronaut. Just you flew in space. You can pretend you're an astronaut unless you do an actual mission and stuff. You're a passenger, just a passenger on the airplane. If you fly on an airplane in the back in first class or coach, are you a pilot? No. So you're not an astronaut until you do some work as an astronaut. So there we have the 31 minutes. Is that a 30? Is that a 1 or a 7? Okay, it's probably 31. So live. Oh, okay. So okay, 30 minutes. They'll have the live cam on. So we'll go to the live cam when it comes in. I want to recognize that we have two folks on Twitch, three people on Rumble, one person on Local, and one person on YouTube this morning. Thank you very much, folks. Greatly appreciate it. And we have Tina that's on Twitch there, one of our regular viewers here on the broadcast that I do here from Fireman Rich broadcast on Rumble. Okay, let's see. What am I doing here? We got to bring that up, and now let's go ahead and bring up that, and we'll see if we can do this again to have a double thing here. So, okay, let's see. Let's go to. Okay, here we go. And let's see. I got to bring up my scrolly thing here. I don't have it on here. Okay, let's bring it up here. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got the scrolly thing right there. So we got that going. Let's go ahead and get a link here and send it over to bring up a second. Let's see. We got to go to chat. And okay. Let's see if that works now. Let's see. We got notification there. I'll go chat here. And copy this here. Let's see, copy link address. Okay, there we go. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, it didn't. Copy link. And let's see, paste link. Okay, there we go. Let's see if this works. It didn't work last night, but I was having some camera problems. So, and I got to bring up the OBS on my other computer here. So we'll do that. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to the feed here. Okay, I think they got some. Let's go ahead and see if we can listen to this now.
First time a New Glenn booster is flying to space for a second time.
And a special welcome to the team over at AST Space Mobile, because the payload on board today is your Bluebird 7 satellite, part of the constellation that's building cell phone networks that you can connect to from your regular phone anywhere in the world.
Now, we are inside the gateway of Rocket Park. Behind these walls here, that is where New Glenn comes to life on our factory floor. Now, once again, I'm Tabitha Lipkin, and joining me to take you on this journey today is Alice Watts here of our launch system architecture team. Out at Cars Park, we have our Ben Durkee, who's a mechanical operator on the launch execution team, and on console, who will walk us through every step of launch and landing, is Patrick Moore, our principal mission integrator. Great team we have today.
Now, the launch window opens up at 6:45 a.m. Eastern Time and closes 2 hours later at 8:45 a.m. Right now, New Glenn is on the pad at Launch Complex 36. Both stages are fully fueled. The pad has been cleared of all personnel, and our launch operations team are on console upstairs here at Rocket Park.
2 goals for today. Let's talk through them. Number 1, safely deliver the AST Bluebird satellite to orbit for our customer. Number 2, fly this booster a second time and land it once again. Before we get to launch, though, I want to bring in Megan Lewis da Silva. Megan is not only a launch director herself, but she is the director of launch directors. And Megan, you took the time to come down here and talk to us really quickly. I want you to walk us through the big milestones that lie ahead before launch and after launch.
Yeah, so right now we are as configured as we can be at this point in the count. We're just standing by for our L-17 go pull for terminal count, at which point we'll check in with everybody on the team to get their go or no go for terminal count. Once we get the go, we'll move forward with our final configurations for the day just prior to that terminal count sequence. At that point, we'll be warming up our hydraulic power units, doing things like dialing in our engine temperatures. We'll also take our hold fire switches to the launch position. And then at T-minus 4 minutes, we'll hand over control to the terminal count sequencer, which is our final choreographed ground sequence that completes all those last configurations for the launch. That one's doing things like initiating our big water flow to protect the launch pad during ignition. We're also doing transferring power to the vehicle internal battery power. We'll be doing our final pressurizations to flight pressures. And then at T-minus 15 seconds, we'll hand over control to the launch vehicle itself. And at that point, the rocket will be flying itself. And then we'll go through the nominal launch in-flight phases as well.
Pretty exciting stuff there.
Now, I know we're flying this booster for a second time. Is there anything different or special about flying a reused booster?
So not for today's countdown. There's nothing different about a refurbished booster. The different part actually already happened when the booster returned from NG2. We went through that refurbishment period, which was our first time going through that period. And as we do this more often and again, we'll be able to repeat that process and get, dial that in and get it faster over time.
So I have to ask you, you were able to come down here because soon we could see you as mission director. Who is on console as launch director today, and what goes into being mission director?
Yeah, so today's launch director is Brian Struve. He's doing his final certification flight with his instructor is Ben Dykstra. So those are our launch directors today. As a mission director, that role is a little different than the launch director role that's actually executing the countdown. The mission director actually sits in our mission support room, and they're in direct communications with our executive leadership team, our external partners, our launch management team, as well as they're in a direct line of communication with the customer, which today is AST Space Mobile. So they're just providing that opportunity for the customer to ensure that they get a voice on launch day. And then in the event that anything significant happens today, that launch management team is there to evaluate and make a recommendation for a path forward.
Awesome.
And last but not least, what was today's launch day song for you and the team?
So for the crew, we went with the Han Solo song "The Odds," which is a nerd out song on YouTube, which is very fitting for this booster and for this crew today.
Indeed. We went with Thunderstruck by AC/DC. It's really hyped up. So Megan Lewis da Silva, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you've got to get back over to Mission Control, so we really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks, Megan.
Awesome. So here's the thing. We got a little inside look at what happens in Mission Control on game day, but we want to check in with our own Ben Durkee, who's out at Cars Park, where Team Blue and guests are gathered, watching, of course, with coffee in hand. But Rockets, they have a way of waking people up pretty early. Ben, what are people saying about NG3?
Thanks so much. We're here live in beautiful, serene Cars Park on Merritt Island, Florida. The air is still, but you can feel the anticipation in it, like static electricity. The people You're a Blue employee.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do for Blue?
Yeah, so I work on the Florida factory automation team, build robotic systems to allow us to build better, quicker, with higher quality robotic systems, do inspections, welding, all kinds of different things.
Love to hear it. Quality control, automation. Sweet. Well, thank you so much for your hard work and for being here today.
Excited.
Love to have you. There you have it, folks. Sam is just one of many incredible Blue employees here to see the fruits of their labor. Now let's toss it to our customer AST Space Mobile to learn a little bit about the payload.
AST Space Mobile's Bluebird satellites are unlike anything in orbit today. They're not just satellites, they're cell towers in space. Designed to connect to today's existing smartphones and deliver 4G and 5G broadband. No updates, no special hardware required. The challenge is smartphones have tiny antennas. To connect them from space, we need something massive. AST Space Mobile's next-generation Bluebirds are the largest commercial phased arrays ever deployed into low Earth orbit. Last December, AST Space Mobile launched its first next-generation satellite, Bluebird 6. Today marks the launch of the second in the series, Bluebird 7. These satellites are manufactured with 95% vertical integration across nearly 500,000 square feet of state-of-the-art facilities across the US and beyond. We have partnered with over 50 leading mobile network operators worldwide, including AT&T and Verizon in the US, Bell and Telus in Canada, Vodafone in Europe, Rakuten in Japan, and STC Group in the Middle East and Africa. By working with these operators, we can expand their existing networks and deliver seamless space-based broadband to their combined 3 billion users. This means entire communities will...
Okay, it sounds like a big commercial. It sounds like a long commercial, so we'll go ahead and put that. But it's giving you an idea of what they're sending up there. It's a second satellite that they sent up, the first one on NG2, as far as that goes. So, and AST Mobile. So they're working for the various phone companies and stuff. So let's go back to the audio here.
T Space Mobile. All right, now I'm standing here with our Senior Vice President of our Lunar Permanence team, John Kalors, and I'm standing here because we are in the lobby in front of our Blue Moon Mark 1 lander. This, of course, is an early iteration of Blue Moon Mark 1. Tell me a little bit about the similarities and differences of this lander compared to Endurance.
Certainly. So when we first built this mock-up of the Mark 1 lander, it was a little over 2.5 years ago. Since then, we were able to mature the design significantly. Through our engineering, we're actually able to save mass by deleting some insulation. You see the actual lander is much more gold, if you will, than the white lander that you see here. And one of the best things about that was being able to work with the new Glenn team. Having the launch vehicle as the same company's vehicle as the lander has allowed us to optimize the entire stack, the entire design. So we've gotten a lot more performance out of our lander thanks to new Glenn.
Okay, so tell me also a little update about Endurance, because I was driving out here yesterday and I got stopped on the road because guess who was coming home?
Right, yeah, so Mark 1, serial number 1 Endurance had a completely successful thermal vacuum chamber test at Johnson Space Flight Center. It was phenomenal. The NASA team did a really great job taking us through the temperature extremes of space, the vacuum of space, the lunar environment. And what we did is as soon as we finished up, we trucked out in Johnson at Houston, the lander, on the same day that Artemis 2 splashed down. And then it arrived here just this weekend, right before the launch of New Glenn. So we're right now getting ready to do a few more tests, and they'll be launching by the end of the summer.
It's pretty exciting. Okay, really quickly though, I've got to ask, why is, of course, what we're doing here at Blue Origin so tied into what's happening with the Artemis campaign?
Right. So Mark 1 is really our pathfinder for how we are going to successfully land astronauts on the moon. It carries the same BE-7 engine that we fly for the human landing system with NASA. It uses liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen, same systems, same propellants that we use for those for the HLS vehicles, our landing systems, our guidance, navigation, control. So this will truly be the pathfinder for how we land astronauts. And I want to say, the heritage that New Shepard has provided us in all of Blue Origin has been incredible to landing on the moon. New Shepard will be remembered in history for pathfinding liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen systems, precision landing, human rating systems. Those are all systems that we in Lunar have been able to leverage off of.
Beautiful shout out, of course, to our New Shepard team. John Kalors, thank you so much for your time. Now we're going to toss it over to the rocket for the ever so important go, no-go poll for NG3.
Attention all stations. This is LD on count 1. This is the go poll for final configurations and terminal count. When polled, respond go or no go. GC. Go. LC1.
Go.
LC2. Go. LSO. Go. OSM.
Go.
RC.
Go.
ESR. Go. AC. Go. Recovery. Go. PLI. Go. BMD. Go. We are go for terminal count.
All right. Now let's take a moment here. We are at L minus 16 and a half minutes. Let's take a look at New Glenn by the numbers. This is one of my favorite graphics because it really gives you a sense of how big this thing is. All right, let's take a look on the left side. That's where we show how much payload New Glenn can take to orbit. Now, when going to low Earth orbit, or LEO, New Glenn can carry almost 45 metric tons, which is equivalent to 20 full-size trucks. To geostationary transfer orbit, or GTO, which is where most of the communication satellites live, it's a much higher orbit, it can carry around 13 metric tons or 6 pickup trucks. Now, those fins that you see near the top of the booster, each are about 16 feet long, roughly the size of a car, and they're a part of how the booster steers itself back home through the atmosphere. Now, the landing legs, they only take 8 seconds to deploy. They stay tucked away during flight so they're not exposed to re-entry heat. The whole vehicle stands 321 feet tall. And now on the right-hand side of your screen, you will see our engines. The BE-3U engine on the upper stage, they're 14.5 feet tall and each generate 175,000 pounds of thrust. The
It's double the
BE4
height of me.
engines that are
I'm
on the first stage
6'5",
are just over
so
12
it's more
feet
than
tall and each
2 of
generate
me. It's a big engine.
550,000 pounds of thrust. And we're on a path to get those BE4s up to 640,000 pounds of thrust. Now let's take a moment here and throw it back to Ben. He's with everyone out at Cars Park. Ben, you're watching today not only as a fan, but you're also on our launch execution team. Tell the viewers and tell me a little bit about what your team does on a day like today.
That's absolutely right. Thank you, Alice. I have the immense privilege of working out at our launch pad, Launch Complex 36. And while we've touched on the details of the vehicle, I would like to talk a little bit about my team's pride and joy, our TE, or Transporter Erector. Now, on paper, the TE does exactly as advertised. It's that giant steel beast you see in the shadow of the rocket that rolls the launch vehicle out to the pad and points it up at the sky where it's meant to be. But if you take a closer look, there is a complex symphony of systems that need to work in concert to enable a New Glenn launch. So it's my team's responsibility to operate those systems during a launch campaign and to improve upon them in the interim. That's mechanically, electrically, software-ally, you name it, we wear a lot of hats. So while I'm out here enjoying this beautiful sunrise with this incredible crowd, the rest of my team is in the launch control room, laser focused on getting ready for our most critical moment, which is at T-0. Right at that moment, you'll see the TE do a little bit of a Michael Jackson lean away from the launch vehicle. And the purpose of that maneuver is to disconnect our umbilicals, which fuel and power the rocket, hold the vehicle steady, it removes the vehicle stabilizers, and it just gets the TE out of the way so that New Glenn has a wide open sky to launch into the instant it's free and clear of the launch table. Now, as much as I would love to talk your ear off about these systems I know so dearly, it's high time I pass the talking stick to my friend Tabitha. Take us away.
Ben, I could listen to you talk about that all day. Thank you so much. Right now, we're about L-13 minutes from launch, and this is where things get very serious for our team. So we have Patrick Moore, who is inside Mission Control, and he's going to be the voice walking us through this flight. Patrick, can you talk a little bit about what's happening in there right now?
Yeah. Hey, Tabitha and Alice. I'm here in the mission control room. In the room here with me is a group of Blue Origin and AST team members, and they're supporting the launch from a number of different functions. Today's countdown has been pretty calm overall. The team has been working through the countdown processes. Now that we're coming up on L-12 minutes, things start getting a little quieter as everyone's listening closely to the communication nets and watching their screens. But this is where things get really exciting. So coming up next is going to be the terminal count starting at L-4 minutes. This is where the rocket and ground systems go through their final automated checks that lead up to the final pre-launch activation activities. So in terminal count, you should expect to see things like the tank vents are going to lock up, the hydraulic pumps start.
Definitely looking forward to hearing from you and seeing you again. Now that you've seen inside of Mission Control, we want to introduce you to our team all around the country. We're talking about Huntsville, Alabama. We've got Launch Site 1 out in West Texas, Kent, Washington, and of course, everyone here on Florida's Space Coast. Huge shout out to Team Blue for showing up today, of course, for the launch of NG-3. So excited to be a part of this incredible team. Now, let's bring it back out to New Glenn on the pad. Earlier this week, I got the chance to catch up with our Vice President of New Glenn, Jordan Charles, who walked me through the history of LC-36 and the launch pad, as well as the upgrades and what our team is looking forward to learning about NG-3. Jordan, I want to start by talking about this historic launch complex and what people may not know about LC-36.
Yeah, well, this is LC-36. We're here at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. We like to call it our mile marker 0 for our interplanetary road to space, which is really what we're trying to do with New Glenn. A lot of people really, when they look at rocket launches and they think about rocket launches, they think about the complexity of the rocket. Often overlooked, though, is the complexity of all the ground systems that have to support the rocket. And those ground systems all have to work in unison with the systems on the rocket on the day of launch as we're going through a terminal count sequence to actually successfully launch the rocket. And this pad is an incredible feat of civil, mechanical, and controls engineering.
And beyond that, I mean, can you tell me a little bit about like the history of this complex and kind of some of the upgrades you had to do? It sounds like some of the autonomous systems are part of that.
So LC-36 has a long history. Atlas program used to launch out of here. Some of the most famous and ambitious interplanetary science missions in the history of humanity launched right from here back in the 70s and the 80s. And at the same time, we've really tried to modernize this launch pad for the 21st century and beyond. So it is a clean slate, new launch pad, all new systems. We really didn't use too much of the infrastructure from the heritage days of LC-36, and we took it up to its modern standards.
Well, let's talk about New Glenn. New Glenn is behind us out on the pad. How is NG3 different than previous New Glenn missions, and how will New Glenn, I guess, continue to develop for future missions?
Well, NG3 is a huge flight for us. It's the first flight of our reflown booster. We had a very successful second flight where we were able to recover this booster. And on that second flight, we learned a lot. We had some things that were surprising that we weren't expecting to learn. We had a lot of very pleasant surprises. So this flight, we're very much looking to see some of the changes that we made from the second flight, see how they perform on this next flight. And it's going to be historic for us. This is the first time we're flying a reused booster. Definitely super proud of our refurbishment team for getting this rocket turned around in the time that they did. And I think we can go even faster as we move forward.
Can you tell me a little bit about those changes that we made that you're looking at, especially as we are relaunching Never Tell Me the Odds?
One of the things we did with this particular booster is we added all new engines. There's a couple reasons why we did that. So we're definitely looking to see how those engines perform in this flight. We refurbished our thermal protection system on the back end of the rocket as well. That gets pretty hot as you're coming in during our reentry process. So we want to definitely see and correlate a bit better our thermal environments as we're flying this particular mission. And then, in terms of our guidance, navigation, and control schemes, we made a few tweaks with respect to how the rocket actually re-enters. And then on the inside of the rocket, just making sure all of our systems continue to work as we expect that they will.
Jordan, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And Alice, it was so great to be able to talk to Jordan Charles about the importance of this mission and why it, of course, also matters to our customers. We're getting really close now, so I've joined you up here at the desk. So let's walk viewers through essentially what they're going to see with this flight profile.
Yeah, let's take a look. All right, so at liftoff, 7 BE-4 engines on the booster will ignite and push New Glenn off the pad with 3.8 million pounds of thrust. About a minute and a half in, then New Glenn will go supersonic, which is faster than the speed of sound. Just after that, at around 40,000 feet, New Glenn will hit max Q, where the aerodynamic stresses on the vehicle are at the highest.
Yeah, then right around the 3-minute mark, the booster engines shut off. That's the end of the boost phase. This is where the rocket splits in two. The first stage, our booster, starts its trip back to Earth. The second stage keeps going with the satellite on top. The booster then flips itself around using small thrusters, fires its engines for a re-entry burn to slow down through the atmosphere, and then lets its computers guide it in, and then fires what we call a final landing burn to touchdown. It's aiming for our recovery ship, Jacqueline. That's a big floating platform out at sea about 375 miles off the coast.
Now, while all of that is happening, the upper stage is climbing towards orbit on its 2 BE-3U engines. At about 360,000 feet, the payload fairings, those are the protective clamshells that cover the satellite, they'll split open and drop away. About an hour and 16 minutes after liftoff, the AST Bluebird satellite then separates from the vehicle.
And Alice, New Glenn is a really capable vehicle. The same rocket that can take AST's satellite exactly where it needs to go will also eventually take our Blue Moon Mark 1 lander to the moon. And here we are at about L-minus 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's toss it to New Glenn out on the pad as we await the launch of NG3.
Out it goes.
Okay, we're coming up on 4 minutes to launch. There's the New Glenn sitting on the pad, and we'll be launching to carry Bluebird 7, the package that's on there right now. And we do have another view from Spaceflight Now. They've got cameras up and watching this as well. So I like using their feed as well as far as for the watch party here. And they have a good, I don't know if they have any audio. Let's see if they have any audio on here. No, it's not, no audio there. So okay, we're getting down to 3 minutes here now, folks.
LH2, then close
We're
your
back on
arm.
the Blue Origin page. We're down to less than 4
All
minutes.
stations.
Oh, we're on a hold. We're on a hold.
TCS, stand by. TSW, has TCS abort saving complete?
All right, if you have been following along on your screen, you see the T clock. It has stopped at 3 minutes and 57 seconds. We are currently in a hold. We will stay here on New Glenn. I'm going to find out some more information about this hold and get that information back to you.
And holds aren't unusual as far as that goes, folks. So we'll wait and see what they're assessing, before the launch. Within, they hold launches up to 1 minute. Okay, here we got something. No. Okay, so we'll go ahead and bring that down here until we hear something. We're holding at 3 minutes and 57 seconds on the launch here for New Glenn. And there she is sitting on the pad from a distance there via Spaceflight Now. We are in a hold. And we'll just have to sit and wait and see. They're assessing things as far as that goes, and see what transpires.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to inform you that the Blue Origin New Glenn-3 launch has been interrupted. This decision was made to allow time for an important announcement. We are fortunate to have with us Mr. Jeff Bezos, who will now step forward and explain everything in full detail. Stay with us.
Oh, we're going to get a special announcement. That's unusual. Special announcement, John Glenn, or from. He's holding up his. We'll go to the space flight now. I don't know if they got a. That's unusual. He has a special announcement as like another commercial here. It's just like, okay, Jeff Bezos.
Interrupted. This decision was made to allow time for an important announcement. We are fortunate to have with us Mr. Jeff Bezos, who will now step forward and explain everything in full detail. Stay with us.
Okay, we're waiting. We're hanging.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, what a day. We're all gathered here for the Blue Origin New Glenn-3 launch. This historic and incredible moment where Blue Origin is sending its powerful, reusable, heavy-lift rocket on another critical flight, advancing America's leadership in commercial spaceflight. Commander of the mission operations, the dedicated Blue Origin team, and our partners are ready aboard the launch complex. The massive New Glenn rocket is fully stacked and fueled, the countdown was live, and the whole world is watching as we prepare to push the boundaries of reusable rocketry and open new possibilities in space. But look, I've got to be straight with you right from the start. The New Glenn-3 launch itself is being postponed for a short technical hold. We're standing by because of a last-minute standard procedure to ensure every system is perfect before liftoff. While we wait, something really exciting just came together that ties directly into why we're building New Glenn and working toward a future of millions of people living and working in space. This isn't a problem. This is the perfect opportunity to celebrate the spirit of New Glenn and Blue Origin's vision in a unique way by connecting it to the future of money. New Glenn-3 represents Blue Origin's commitment to building the next
Okay,
generation of
this
heavy
is
lift,
looking more
fully
and more
reusable
like a
rockets.
commercial and stuff like
Standing over
that.
320 feet tall with 7
I've
BE-4
never seen
engines,
this before,
it's
folks.
designed to deliver
You got
massive
QR
payloads to
codes up
orbit,
there. You got Jeff
support lunar
Bezos
missions, and help establish a true
pushing.
spacefaring
This
economy.
is unusual.
This vehicle is a key step in our long-term roadmap to make space accessible, affordable, and routine. And at the heart of it all is the same philosophy that has guided Blue Origin from day one.
I'm
Gradual,
laughing at this right
relentless,
now, folks.
and
This
safe
has
innovation.
nothing to do.
That same
Do
spirit of
this
rethinking
before
the
the
rules,
launch.
of finding smarter,
This is
more efficient,
unreal.
and more open ways forward
Oh my
is exactly what
God.
cryptocurrency represents in the world of
Hawking
finance.
cryptocurrency.
Decentralized money is the financial version of reusable rockets, like
It's
New
a
Glenn. No
commercial.
unnecessary gatekeepers, no artificial borders, just open protocols that work cheaper.
No, I'm not gonna. We're gonna silence that. I think that is just that is bad. It's just you got a QR code up there. You're pushing the crypto and for your own. Um, I know it's his company and everything, but this is an important mission. Now, if this doesn't go up, and this is just ridiculous, in my opinion. Okay, I'll just say that it's just I'm laughing at this because we've got the shot right now of the on hold on the space flight now page. I'm not gonna. I don't want to say torture, but have you listen to that. That's not the reason I'm here. I'm here for the rocket. I'm not here to hear Jeff Bezos launch. Okay, I respect him and admire him as far as what he's doing there, but just before launch, I don't think that's too commercialized. I know it's a commercial company and stuff, but this is just it's just support assets. You got Bitcoin and all this other stuff. That's I don't know what's going on there with that because Elon Musk does the same thing on SpaceX. I guess he would have these pre things, but it'd be beforehand. So I'm not gonna. It's like a big commercial before the main event, as far as that goes. So it's comical. I'm just gonna put in the comical thing because it's his company and his rocket and all that, and I'm just fascinated by the technology that's involved in it and stuff like that. But you can have the commercial and stuff. I'm not here to promote Jeff Bezos' businesses and stuff like that. I'm here for the science and the advancement of the humans going into space. I just think this is unless there's something else going on. 4-minute hold. Uh, I've never seen this before in my life. You're sitting at a 4-minute hold right now for a commercial. So I'm almost thinking something has come up in the pre-checks to where they don't want to lose this rocket. So they might be troubleshooting some stuff. I'm just speculating now because I just find this very unusual. But you can see the rocket sitting there. It's a pretty good sized rocket, and the fascinating things about the Blue Origin rocket now here in New Glenn, and also SpaceX. Uh, um, SpaceX's Falcon 9. They can land. Of course, SpaceX is trying to do it with the Falcon Heavy, and I think the next, our next Starship. Let me see if I can find the data on that next Starship. I think it's this week, maybe Wednesday. We might have another. Let's see, next Starship launch. Starship launch. LAUNCH by SpaceX. And we're still on a hold. Let's see. Okay, SpaceX is targeting early to mid-May for next Starship test flight, Flight 12, shifting from previous April. So, okay, I did hear a date of April 22nd, so they've changed it to where it's going to go in the mid-May of 2000 next month. It's a maiden flight of the V3 Starship Booster 9 and Ship 39 Heavy, featuring significant improvements and stuff. And that's a spacecraft that has yet to orbit around the planet here, Earth. Where, by comparisons, the New Glenn has put the actual first stage has put it's a two-stage rocket there. Okay, what happened to our? We lost our Blue Origin. Okay, we're still on a hold. Are they done? Okay, there we go. We're back to Blue Origin now.
Up to 50 to 100 satellites per New Glenn mission. It is our avenue to significantly reduce.
Well, this is something we already seen and stuff. So we're holding at 357, and we just got done listening to Jeff Bezos, and now we're seeing stuff that we saw just as we were coming on here. We're coming up on 1 hour, so we'll see if we crap out. If I crap out, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's usually at 1 hour. We'll see what happens here. But we have 3 people on Twitch, 4 people on Rumble Rocks, and 3 people on YouTube, and 1 person on Locals. So we're coming up to that 1 hour and 1 minute mark here using the Rumble version 2.0 new canvas that used to be beta. And it seems like we're doing okay here. And I've got a second channel up to counter it if we get the circle of death. I really enjoyed this new canvas from Rumble, but there's a little remaining quirk that's going on here. So we'll see what happens here in about 30 seconds. And normally, if we're past the 1 hour and 1 minute mark, we're pretty good as far as that goes. So we'll see what happens. And again, I want to say thank you for the viewers that are watching. We have 3 people on Twitch, 4 people on Rumble. Rumble rocks. Rumble is doing good. We're using the new Canvas 2.0 for Rumble Studios, and it's working out quite well here as we're coming up, let's see, 1 hour and 1 minute. Let's see if, and there's the Blue Origin. We're still on a hold at 3:57. 3 minutes and 57 seconds. And are we going to get a circle of death? No, I guess we're good. I think they worked the quirks out. I think last night it just something happened with an evening broadcast. It seems like but I did use this new Rumble Studio Canvas version 2.0. It's no longer, they're not toting it as a beta now. So they're